In the heart of ancient Angola, one woman rose with fire in her veins and a crown on her head. They called her Angola, the warrior queen. And when the world came to conquer, she stood unbroken. This is her story. There are times in history when a single soul rises above impossible odds, when one woman, through courage, faith, and vision, becomes the light of a people in darkness. This is the story of Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba, an African queen, a fearless warrior, a diplomat, and a believer in divine purpose. Her life reminds us that even in the darkest of times, God raises deliverers. The year was around 1583. The land that is today called Angola was under siege. The Portuguese had come, hungry for territory and trade, but more than that, for slaves. They trafficked in flesh, and every soul taken from African soil became a brick in the empire of European wealth. But God had not abandoned his people. Into this world of conquest and captivity, a baby girl was born, Nzinga Mbande, daughter of the royal line of the Ndongo kingdom. She was given the name Nzinga, meaning to twist or to turn, referencing the fact that she was born with her umbilical cord wrapped around her neck, a sign in local tradition that she was destined for greatness. She was born into nobility, but her world was anything but peaceful. Her people were under pressure, her homeland was invaded, and her future was uncertain. Yet within this girl was planted a seed of strength, of brilliance, of divine purpose. As she grew, Nzinga was trained in diplomacy, in warfare, in statecraft. She learned languages, including Portuguese. She watched, she listened, and she waited. For the time would come when God would call her to stand. In 1622, her brother, the king, sent her to negotiate peace with the Portuguese. Nzinga entered their halls, unarmed yet dignified, a woman among men. They offered no chair, only a mat to sit on. They attempted to demean her, but Nzinga, proud and unbending, signaled her servant who knelt to become her seat. She would not negotiate from the ground, she would not accept inferiority. Like Deborah in the book of Judges, she rose to lead her people, not because it was expected, but because it was necessary. But all was not well. Her brother died, some say by suicide, others say by poison. With the throne empty and her kingdom in peril, Nzinga ascended as queen, a woman on the throne, in a world ruled by men, a queen in the storm of empire. She did not shrink. She prayed and prepared for war. Nzinga was no ordinary ruler. She converted to Christianity, taking the name Ana de Susa Nzinga, a spiritual and strategic move. She understood the language of heaven and the politics of men. She was both lion and lamb, wise as a serpent yet gentle as a dove. For 40 years, she resisted the slave trade. She built alliances with neighboring tribes. She led her armies into battle, dressed in armor, wielding sword and strategy. Like Esther, she stood in the gap for her people. Like Moses, she defied the pharaohs of her day. And like David, she fought giants with courage lit by heaven. Some days, she hid in the forest. Other days, she ruled from the capital. Always, she was moving, praying, planning. She knew the God of the oppressed had not forgotten them. When others fled, she remained. When others bowed, she stood. When others gave up, Nzinga pressed forward. Dear listener, what is the battle you face today? Is your family under pressure? Are your dreams delayed? Your calling opposed? Remember Queen Nzinga. She was not supposed to succeed. The odds were stacked high. The armies were stronger. The traders were ruthless. And yet, she overcame. Because God uses the most unlikely. He lifts the humble. He empowers the weak to confound the mighty. When she finally died in 1663, she was nearly 80 years old, still ruling, still resisting, still leading. She had outlived kings and governors. She had preserved her people's dignity. She had carved her name into the memory of a continent. Nzinga was a warrior queen, but more than that, she was a vessel of divine resistance. Her life tells us that in the furnace of affliction, faith is forged, that in the wilderness of war, God plants leaders, that when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So rise, child of God. You were destined for greatness. Let Nzinga's legacy stir your courage. Whether you are a mother, a father, a youth, an entrepreneur, a pastor, or a student, you were not born to surrender. You were born for such a time as this. Nzinga walked through fire and came out crowned. This is Faith, Reflections 2:4-7, where we draw strength from those who walked before us. Like Queen Nzinga, may you fight the good fight and finish your race with courage, dignity, and divine purpose. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true stories of faith and inspiration.